The New Machiavelli, How to Wield Power in the Modern World, by Jonathan Powell. Narrated by Stephen Crossley.
Preface. Let me first be clear what this book is not. It's not another memoir of the Blair years. There are enough of those already. It's not an academic treatise on Machiavelli. There aren't enough of those, but I'm not the person to write one. And it's not a considered history of the Blair era. Sufficient time hasn't yet passed for such a work to be written. Instead, it's designed to be three things. Firstly, it's an attempt to test whether Machiavelli's maxims still hold in the world of modern politics as well as they did when they were written. Secondly, it tries to draw some lessons on leadership and the exercise of power for future practitioners, based on my experience in Number 10. And lastly, it illustrates a series of generalizations by means of anecdotes from my time in government with Tony Blair and my knowledge of other British governments and US administrations, in the same way that Machiavelli illustrated his works with personal anecdotes from his time in the Florentine government. These anecdotes form the raw material for the use of future historians, not an attempt at writing history itself. I'm conscious that it's foolhardy to compare myself to Machiavelli. He was a genius, and I am not. His works have lasted centuries, and mine will not. It's also rash to try to rehabilitate the thinking of Machiavelli, given how deeply rooted his caricature is in our culture. The fact that I'm writing about him will be held by opponents to prove that the Blair government was unprincipled all along, and it will certainly lead to my being described as Machiavellian, which will raise a smile on the lips of my former colleagues at Number 10. If anything, I was at the candide end of the spectrum rather than calculating. And like Voltaire's hero, I was an innocent, unable to stop asking gauche questions and blurting out the truth, however inconvenient. But I'm not too worried by any such criticisms, because they will just illustrate the ignorance of those who make them about Machiavelli himself, about his thinking, and about the way in which the Blair government really operated. And it's worth risking the opprobrium because I hate to see myths remain unchallenged when British politics desperately needs a dose of realism and honesty. I would worry, however, if anyone read this book and thought politics was just about cynical manoeuvring and manipulation. It is not. After 30 years in government, I am, if anything, more optimistic than I was when I started about the ability of government to change things. Politics is above all about idealism, values, and ideas. This book is of limited scope, though, and doesn't address those important aspects. It's confined to look...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?